Hey, it's David Pingree with Vital MX. We're out here at Cahuilla Creek Raceway to get our ride on the 2021 Kawasaki KX450, our first taste of it. Going back, obviously this bike has been completely remodeled. Last year, took a bunch of things that they learned from the race team and their R&D and built possibly the best 450. I really liked the Kawasaki last year, and I was anxious to see what those changes did to this year's bike. Starts with the handlebars, and basically the bar, it's a fat bar rather than the bar with a crossbar pad, 7/8 bar. Gives you a little bit more durability in a fall. It's not going to bend as easily, and it's also a little bit flatter bend, so a little bit lower and a little bit more swept back. I like the lower component to it. Kind of puts you into a better position riding. A little bit more kind of set up for turns, kind of pulls your head forward up over the triple clamp a little bit more, which I liked. For me, it was a little bit wide. Anytime you flatten a bar out, it's going to get wider because they're all cut from the same piece of tubing in terms of length. So just something to throw out there. It did feel a little bit wide. I'm going to probably cut mine down a touch, but I like the bend and I like the bar. The other changes were to the piston, and it's just a reduced friction coating on the skirt of the piston to simply reduce friction. Didn't notice a ton of that. Obviously I'd need to go back to back with last year's bike to really pull that difference out. But the thing ran like a champ. Very, very tractable power, very broad power, very usable. So just an excellent power plant. Those guys did a good job. Lastly, kind of the big change this year was they went to a different clutch setup. And rather than having a bunch of springs, it's sort of a plate spring, a cone plate spring, they call it, similar to what KTM would have. And this is supposed to give you a little bit more feel, like so you have more modulation. If that's something you're looking for, really working the clutch through a section, you just get a little bit more of a range to use it, and then better durability. And they also say as at the point where it would start to get really hard to pull in, it's supposed to have like a breakover point and then become easier again. Be honest with you, it's a brand new bike. All brand new clutches are pretty easy to pull in, so I'm not really feeling that difference. And even on the track, I didn't go, oh, this feels different or better or worse. It doesn't feel a lot different to me, to be honest. I did do a couple of starts, and you can feel maybe that there's a little more modulation instead of just sort of kind of off to on. You definitely get more of a feed into it. I did notice that. It's good for concrete starts or really slippery turn exits. You know, that might be a really cool feature, being able to just feed it a little easier. So those are the changes for this year, and really they're more reliability, slight performance changes on what is an already incredible bike. One of the things coming back and riding this thing new again, I'm reminded just how good the suspension is. I would say this bike, the CRF, and the YZF, I mean, it blows me away that the suspension all three of those bikes come with. It works so well. I mean, really on point with what an A-kit suspension setup would feel like. So it's really, we're really lucky to have suspension that good coming stock on motorcycles these days. And with this thing, it was no different. SAG recommendation was about 104, 105. And the only change I made was 2 clicks firmer on the compression on the fork, just to get the bike to hold up a little bit more. Out here at Cahuilla, we've got some really fast downhill sections. And as I'd get on the brakes super hard, I found the front end kind of dropping a little bit more than I'd like. And you can fix that again. Like some guys were putting a stiffer spring just in one leg, and that kind of splits the difference between the spring rates. So you could try that if you think it's just maybe a touch too soft. But ride it stock first, because it's a great feel, and the thing turns like it's on rails. Like I said, I don't have really any complaints with this motorcycle. It's a really, really fun bike, super competitive right out of the box. In fact, last year the project bike we did with it was just bare minimum, and you can make this thing an ultra competitive race motorcycle with doing very little to it. So once again, Kawasaki did an awesome job with the 2021 KX450. It's the last year's package, which was a hit, just made even slightly better. So kudos to those guys for really putting together an awesome motorcycle. Thanks for letting us come out and have a spin on it. These things are going to be in your dealers soon, so get down to your local Kawasaki dealer and check them out. You will not be disappointed. Thank you for watching. See you next time.